So I'm actually, pretty excited to chat with you guys. I listened to your music there, and I gotta say it's interesting because you guys are so young, and listening to the music, it totally takes me back to just like growing up, like listening to like Metallica, Pantera, all that, and I feel like it's so rare to see your guys your age playing this kind of music. Would you say you kind of just grew up, with this style of music like your whole life, or kind of how did you fall into it?
I mean, for me, more or less, my dad showed me a lot of music, starting with like just like classics like Van Halen and all that type of stuff. And I kind of branched off. But he was always into like the classics like Metallica and all the big four. So I kind
Oh
of
yeah,
sang all of that.
Yeah,
nice.
my dad just kind of like showed me all like the bands I listen to now. So yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, pretty much like parent influence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And like how did the band start? Like you guys just like got together in high school there?
Yeah. Basically, we kind of just all met through like I had a class with Cam. I went to this music school with Sebi for a while, so we kind of just all met and started jamming. We're just playing covers, and we're like, hey, it's pretty cool. Having a lot of
Oh,
fun.
nice.
Started taking it serious.
Nice. And like same with your singer, you guys kind of just all found each other, or
Yeah, I'd actually known him for years, and one day I was just like, this guy would be the perfect fit, and it worked. So
oh,
yeah,
okay. So was he like the last one to kind of hop in then?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, nice. And like, so what kind of covers were you guys doing mostly?
Just like I mean, a lot of big four because that was what we were really into. Um, Definitely some Sepultura, just kind of
Oh yeah.
stuff. One of them was like Skeletons of Society by Slayer, Creeping Death, Arise was a big one for us. Just like all those classic metal songs.
Okay. And like, I guess for you guys too, growing up playing, like, when did you start to play like guitar, drums, all that stuff? How old were you guys when you started to mess around there?
I was like 8 years old when I first picked up drums, and I
Oh,
just kind of
nice.
moved on from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I started playing guitar in when quarantine started.
Oh, really? That's not too long ago.
Yeah, that's when I kind of started. I originally played piano, and I was like, "This is cool," but I had a friend who played guitar, and I was like, "This is way cooler." And I found my brother's old Starcaster, and I was like, "I'm learning to play guitar," and it kind of just went from there.
Oh, nice. And did you kind of just have you guys, did you just self teach yourself, or did you guys do lessons or anything like that?
I mean, yeah,
Yeah, I'm pretty much self-taught. I used to do like lessons when I was like really, really young, but since from there on, I just kind of just self-taught.
yeah,
Okay,
I
nice.
took lessons when I was like starting out, like the first year and a half, but I haven't took lessons in a long time. I want to, honestly, because I feel like they're very helpful, but yeah, mainly when I started off.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. And because yeah, I'm self taught too. Like I remember I did lessons maybe like for a few months, but I was way more into once I was able to start writing my own stuff. I don't know. I didn't see a point. It was just fun writing your own thing. And like how far in when you guys were doing the covers did you start to like mess around with your own stuff?
I don't know. I'd say
Maybe like 6 months.
like six
maybe
months.
6 months.
6 months. Yeah, we had like a set list of covers, and we were just playing them in the garage. And we wrote one song that we liked it a lot, but it was also 7 minutes. We're like, let's write another song that isn't 7 minutes long. That other song we ended up scrapping, and then we wrote a third song, which I'm pretty sure which one is it on the record?
Locked Away.
Locked Away, which is on the record, and then the fourth song, Neanderthal. We're just like, all right, these are bangers. We love this, so we just kept writing.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's fun going through those, especially when it clicks and you're like, oh yeah, this song's like this turned out awesome. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because it's a lot of trial and error, right? It's a fun thing to do. And I feel like it's so weird. I was, going through your bio and stuff like that. It feels like you guys kind of just hit the ground running, which is pretty crazy. Like the amount of, plays and views that you've gotten off of this? Like, because is this like your first real kind of group thing together? You guys weren't in any other bands beforehand?
No, it's the first thing.
Yeah.
Oh well, I don't know.
I was in like a thrash band before where I played bass, but it was kind of just because I was with one of my buddies, and like one of my old friends invited me to join. I was like, "Sure, why not?" And I did it for a little while, and then it wasn't that serious. And then I found these guys, and I was just like, "This is the real deal."
Yeah, for sure. And like, how's that been? Like, I guess the process from going like when you first started and then you were writing your own stuff till now, like, was that a quick turnaround? Like, what kind of happened in that span of time?
Yeah, it was pretty quick. I think once I started writing Neanderthal, like me and Sebi kind of just like I remember like just looking at Sebi while we were writing it and we're just like jamming and we're like, this is awesome. And we just kept just like steamrolling songs out of there. And
Yeah,
it was just like a lot of music just came out really quickly.
yeah, it was during the summer, so we had a lot of time to
Yeah.
write.
Oh, okay, nice. And then, so how did the attention start to come over to you guys? Like with going and being able to record with, Wallace there and stuff like that. And even like, getting on the PR, like getting your own PR team and stuff like that.
It really just like snowball effect. We were writing and then the writing started getting serious and then we started getting really serious with it and we started playing shows, trying to do all that stuff, kind of get known around people around where we are. And we caught the attention of William with the music and like fast forward, it's just kind of a snowball. Just over time, we were just gaining more and more momentum, and then we reached out to like our publicist and all the PR and all that stuff, and we kind of built a team, and now we're where we're at now.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, yeah, it's sweet. And you guys are like at such a cool age to be going through this too. Like, how was the recording process for the album for you guys?
Well, that was sick. I mean,
Yeah, it was really
Pretty
awesome.
cool, yeah.
yeah, it was like mind blowing. Like, like my friends would be like, "This is what I did for my summer." Oh, what'd you do for summer? I'm like, I recorded an album. And they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, it's a fun, like, how long were you guys in the studio for?
3 weeks.
It was
3
like
weeks, yeah.
3-4 weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
3 weeks.
Okay, that's not too bad. Yeah, recording, I don't know. That's my favorite part of like doing anything with music. Just going in there and making the songs. And the one thing too that I thought was cool, so this was all done like analog,
Mhm.
Yeah.
right? So that's pretty crazy. Like you don't see too much of that anymore. Like what was the thought process of that? Just have it be more raw and kind of feel more real, or
Yeah, that's exactly it. We just wanted it to be as raw as possible. Like we are, and we still are a garage band. So we felt the best way to kind of encapsulate our sound would to really give it that raw sound that we wrote these songs, hearing it like that. And I think it worked perfectly. We got the raw, thrashy, just kind of just angry sound that we wanted, and there was no better way to do it than going through tape.
yeah, it's like I said, that's such a cool thing to see, and especially like with you guys, because from this, like when you first listen to your stuff, you would never, I don't know, like I said, it just takes me back, like just the way you recorded it, the style, and it's just hard to believe that you guys are like 18, 19 doing it. It's so cool to see, and I think that's the other thing with nostalgia. A lot of people seeing you guys or discovering you guys and seeing, oh my God, like there's still, a younger generation playing this stuff, listening to this stuff. It's pretty cool and makes them kind of, look back into when they first got into it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, totally.
Yeah, like and I'm assuming like your parents are probably pretty stoked for you guys too with everything that you're doing, right?
Yeah, it was
Absolutely,
pretty
yeah.
happy,
That's awesome, man. And then like what's the plans now with the album out and everything like that? Are you guys just kind of focusing more on doing some shows, or are you writing some more stuff, kind of getting some more planned?
Yeah, a bit of both actually. Like writing new music, we've got a pretty good handful of new music, written, playing shows. We're playing Rockville, which is, pretty big for us. So kind of just focusing on getting on the road on the summer. Once, like for me, the running joke is that I graduate from high school this year. So it'll basically be, I'm going to get off the stage and just go right to the bus and just let's go.
Oh, man.
Let's just.
That's crazy. That's like such an old school thing too. Like no one really, that was definitely what happened back in the day. Now it's not so much that, so it's cool to see that. And like I guess when you guys are writing, what's kind of your writing process? Is it kind of say like you just, come up with like a riff and you guys kind of work around it, or how do you guys go about like that process with writing?
Sometimes it'll be like I'll come in with a riff and I'll try and work it out before, and I'll bring it to them and we'll work it out. It's very collaborative with us. We try and make sure that we all either dig it or it's scrapped. Like
Gotcha.
If all four of us don't come to the consensus that this is the right part, this is how we want it, this works, it's not in the song. So sometimes like I bring a riff. A lot of the time recently it's just been a lot of jamming. We'll come for practice and we'll just jam and just play for, say like 30 minutes of just jamming and find a few riffs that we liked. And some of our new songs just came out of jamming, and just very collaborative and making sure we all are into it.
Yeah. Have you guys ever had like instances where you kind of button heads a little bit, or you kind of just cut that off pretty quick? Yeah.
Not really. No.
Not really. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Because even if one of us don't like it, or say one of us like it a certain way, and we want it that way, I feel like we all come to the understanding that it's like it's not like Ethan Kahn and Friends or Cameron and Friends. It's Chain Saint. So we either are all together or it's nothing.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's very important too. Like once you find people that you just like click with and the chemistry's there, like it makes the songwriting process. It doesn't even feel like you're trying. You know what I mean? It just kind of happens, and it's an amazing thing. Yeah, and like out of curiosity, like with you guys growing up and stuff, what like with music, what was that moment of you realizing, like this is what I want to do? I want to like play music.
For me, I think it was just when I started playing on a stage at this music school I used to went to. I was like, this is the coolest feeling ever. I'm playing songs that I really like and having a lot of fun, and I just felt like that's where I belong. Just music for people, and I still feel that way, and it's my dream. I'm pretty happy that we're pursuing it, and together.
Oh, for sure. Would you guys say that was kind of the same thing for you, or was it something different?
Yeah, it's pretty similar.
Oh, for me, it was more like I just saw like a Metallica like live show, and I was just like, yeah, this is what I want to do. Like this is before I put instruments, so yeah. Yeah, concerts. It's funny how you go to a concert and it just like inspires you so much. Anytime I go to a show afterwards, I'm just so jacked and I gotta like write for the whole night or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. And yeah, like you guys, doing it from such a young age and all that. And I guess with that show coming up, do you find yourself kind of, I guess, I don't want to say like being strict or like kind of really planning out the set, but kind of like more focused on that show, like wanting to make sure that it's going to be a good show, or you just kind of like, more relaxed about it?
I'd like to say we're pretty relaxed. I mean, we definitely do plan out the set, but like we ran the set today, or we're working on it today, and I'd say some of it's kind of on the fly and a lot of it's also planned out, but I think we're all pretty confident with it. We just get up there and do our thing.
Nice. And you guys, when you go on stage too, like, was it ever a nerve-wracking thing, or were you just kind of like more excited to get up there?
Maybe the first time.
Yeah, like the first time.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm a little nervous. There's actually people here. What if I mess up? But then it's like, after the first song, you're just like kind of just like you said, you're just jacked. You're just like, I'm ready to go. This is awesome. You get that adrenaline, you know,
Oh,
and
totally.
it just goes from there.
Yeah, for sure. Have you guys had like any of those stories of just like, messing up on anything when you're playing live?
I mean, I've definitely messed up, but no one really notices. So.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, there was one time where in the solo for a song Neanderthal, I just completely missed the dive bomb that I had. It's just like a really big squeal at the end, and I completely missed it, and I was just like, but that's really about it. Just practice harder for the next one, you know?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I don't know. I've had my nightmare stories enough with that too. I remember we played a show and I just restrung my guitar, tuned it, everything, we're ready to go up. Is the first song, the first chord I strum, my G string breaks. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I had to figure out in my head where to play on my fretboard to like mirror without playing the G. And then of course that first song too, our drummer, as soon as he hit the bass drum, it broke right through his skin. So it was just no bass drum for the whole set. It was brutal. That was probably like the worst experience. We're like, oh my God, we just like messed up so bad.
Yeah. I've never heard about it going through the skin like that. That's
oh yeah, it was like yeah, anything that could have went wrong that day.
Yeah,
but I don't know. It's kind of funny to look back and just like laugh at those things, right? It's just experience and just funny stories. It's great. And like I think that's the kind of the beauty too with you guys, like being like the age you are, is you get to kind of go through that. I kind of miss going through that journey. It's such a fun thing to do together. So you guys got a lot of fun ahead of you.
Yep.
Yeah. Hopefully.
And what's yeah, and so like I guess outside of that was the other thing that was pretty cool too. So you guys got featured on that WWE game, right?
Yeah.
So how'd that happen?
That was just really, help from our PR and that whole team. We love them, so they really put us out there, and with that connection, and we're just so happy to have got that. Like that's just so cool.
That is that's a cool thing to see. Yeah, and I guess with you guys kind of growing up in this generation, with social media, the internet and everything like that, you guys have kind of, seen it way more. How do you feel with that kind of just, like this is the way you market yourselves, the band? You kind of got to, post, do the stories, do that stuff. Do you guys like, hate doing that kind of stuff? I know I was never fond of having to do it all the time.
Yeah, I think
we're all on the same page.
We don't really like to do it, but we understand that
we gotta do it, and we wanna be up here, so we gotta do what we gotta do.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, do you find you've had to figure out like, I guess kind of like a scheduling thing, or it's like, oh, you should post like every day or 2 times a day. You kind of got to go through all that crap, right?
Yeah, it's like whatever, but it works. So it definitely works nowadays. So we got to just follow it.
Yeah, and I guess with you guys, kind of when you started, I don't know. It sounds like such a weird question to ask, because like when I was growing up and we did it, like obviously we made CDs, right? Like, is for you guys, it's just like, oh, it's just streams now.
Yeah. I mean, look, we've got records. It was a physical vinyl, but
you got vinyl made? That's awesome.
And maybe CDs and cassettes soon. But I think it is a shame that there's that like magic of going to get a record isn't really the same anymore, and like selling your records, and that's how people find out. But it definitely helps that someone could just hear us on the radio and go to Spotify and be like, oh, I'm a fan now.
Yeah, it's super accessible, which is nice. But yeah, I definitely do miss like being able to go buy a CD or record or whatever and just like physically, look at it, look at the liner notes and all that stuff, all the cool things that come with that. But I guess like you can still kind of do that online. But I don't know, it's something that's just a little different, I guess. But and I guess like what other band, like what other bands have you guys played shows with as of late? Are they kind of just within the same realm as you guys then?
Yeah, like the people on our next show, it's like there's a band Revelations that I'd say is a pretty close vibe. A lot more metalcore, but
Okay.
it's just kind of the bands around us, and they're awesome. So we've just been kind of doing that stuff.
That's awesome, man. And like how many, I guess kind of like, are you just trying to play as many shows as you can, or how's that kind of work with like school and all that stuff?
Yeah, kind of just playing as much as possible. I mean, thankfully we'll be on break for, I mean, I don't know about them because they're in college, but I'll be on break. So I could go full steam ahead with just trying to play shows, and we'll be free. And that's kind of what it's looking like. Like we got the 27th, we got a show, and then a few days later we go to LA to play the Whiskey. And we're just trying to play as much as possible with whenever we're available. So yeah,
Nice.
show's definitely the move right now.
That's awesome. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, shows are always the best. And like, what's that experience been like with, seeing fans like that are just like really loving what you guys are doing? Like, I'm sure you've had people like message you guys or come up to you after a show and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the last show we played, there was a lot of people that were like just very, very nice and had a lot of nice things to say, and I was very grateful that I'm just happy that people are listening to the music and they like it. I'm just glad that this is our thing. We're putting it out there and people are enjoying it. So I'm just glad to see that people like it and they have good things to say about it.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's definitely important for all of that. And I guess with you guys, like out of the band, do you guys have like relationships too, like girlfriends and all that, or are you guys just like focusing right on the music thing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Girlfriends. So
how's juggling that with all the stuff that you guys have been doing?
It's not
fine.
that bad.
It's not that bad.
No, it's not bad.
I've been with mine for a long time, so it's really
Okay,
chill.
that's good. So they have an understanding then.
Yeah, they understand.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. You never know, like, especially with your guys' age, it's like if you have a new relationship or something, it could, it's just a funny thing. I've gone through it myself. So, and are you guys doing or planning on any kind of like mini tours or anything like that?
Yeah, that's the goal for the summer is just
Goal for the
kind of
summer.
set up the tour and just as much and as many dates as possible. Just wherever we can play,
Are you going to try and do kind of your own headlining tour, or kind of just be support for someone maybe, or does it kind of depend?
That kind of it depends right now. We're not really 100% sure what it's kind of, in the making right now, but
Yeah.
either or we're happy.
Yeah, for sure. As long as you can just play, right?
Yeah.
What's the longest set you guys have played?
I think the
last show was like an hour, maybe.
like an hour.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, hour's a good one. Yeah, it's not too bad with how like the length of your guys' songs too. I like the length of them. It's like that, typical like 5 to 7. I enjoy that. You don't see that anymore.
Yeah.
Because now it's like such short attention span. But if anything, all these bands or artists are making like 2.5 minute songs.
Yeah.
So I don't know. How do you guys view the music industry these days? I guess, a lot's changed over the years, and, you guys kind of coming back with an older style that you don't see as much. Like, how do you kind of view the music as it is now today?
I mean, I say pretty good.
Yeah.
Like I'm really wearing a shirt for our new bands. Like I think there's a lot of really cool bands coming out right now and that have been out for a little bit. And at least especially the hardcore scene, like there's a lot of really good music right now. But I'd say overall, I'm pretty cool with how it's going, on the metal side, most especially.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. And like before you went to the studio, did you guys ever record like demos yourselves or anything like that? Mess around there?
Yeah, it's really funny you mentioned that. We were literally just talking before we got on the call because we're on the same computer that we used to demo our songs with, and we're looking at some of the files on the desktop, and we're like,
Oh yeah.
Wrote this demo for this song, wrote this part during it. And it was just we have all these old demos from so long ago. It's just very nostalgic.
Yeah, it's fun to when you accidentally come across them, you're like, oh, what's that? And you listen to it. It's, even if it like sounds bad, it's cool to go through it.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, you're like, hey, this is where it started, you know?
Yeah, because it must have. Did you guys what were you recording on? What software and stuff? Was it like Cubase, Pro Tools, or anything like that?
Yeah, we got Logic on here, so
Logic.
Just run through Logic. Yeah.
Okay, and was that kind of a funny thing to go from like doing it yourselves, having somewhat of an understanding, and then hop into the studio and seeing like, the big jump in how they record everything?
I think I definitely enjoyed the jump more because I didn't have to be engineering and moving things and all of us doing little separate things just to get, one track or whatever on this computer. I really enjoyed the recording process in the studio, 100%.
Yeah, it's nice. Because were you mostly the one kind of just recording and engineering everything then? Like splicing it together?
Like if they were tracking, I always wanted to try and learn the software, so I took it upon myself to learn and try and engineer for them while they do their stuff. And
yeah,
I mean, I had a lot of fun doing it, but I could certainly say that I had a lot more fun someone else doing it who was really good at what they do.
Yeah, for sure. And one question I'll ask too, because it's always interesting when you hop into the recording studio. How was recording the drums for you? How did you find that?
Yeah, it was definitely a lot different, but I felt pretty comfortable. It was definitely a lot different. Yeah, I was very happy with my drum takes.
Yeah, I didn't did you have like a song where you had to, you just like had to keep going and going and going?
There was one song I think I did like 10 times, and I think
up to the chord.
Yeah, I think that was
the last one too.
Oh, nice. And did you ever like mess around with a metronome before?
No.
No? So this one was like, I'm assuming you did it with a metronome?
No, there's no click at all.
There's no click at all.
Yeah, on the whole record, there's no click.
Yeah.
Oh, so you were just the click.
Yeah.
Basically.
Impressive. I have to say. Because I remember that just being such a huge thing, was just like listening to that click, and fuck man, did it ever get annoying just like that the whole fucking time you're doing it. That's awesome that you have it internally, that you don't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like the way you guys would record drums, like how would you do it when you did the demos? Was it kind of just did you do a mic setup, or did you like an electronic drum set?
Yeah,
when you first did the demos?
The same room that we used to kind of just demo stuff. It's like a little music setup.
Oh,
little amp over there and the bass amp. To Logic, and we have this running into it, and we would just kind of play together and record it all at the same time.
Oh yeah. I always thought, like, I remember going to the studio first. I thought it was really interesting how they would mic the drums, right? The placement, all that stuff is, and it's just, it's so much stuff around your kit. Yeah, it's a lot. And like bass, how was that? Like, was it pretty chill to record the bass, or was there like any issues with that?
Oh no, honestly, it was pretty easy.
This guy's a beast.
Yeah.
He probably twice. That was about it.
Yeah. So like,
nice.
We would do we would record tracks at the same time, because we would, for his drum tracks, we would all jam at the same time. So like usually they would just keep my tracks from the jam because they thought it was good enough, and then I didn't need to.
Yeah, he was on first try.
Sometimes I had to re-record it. Like it was like easy, so it wasn't that hard, honestly. To be honest with you, yeah,
that'd be hilarious. You just play it, for drums and that, and then it's like, oh, yeah, you don't have to play. We got it.
That. Very jealous of that.
Yeah,
yeah, no shit, Jesus. And then like with guitar, is it just? Did you just do the one guitar track, or did you do multiple ones?
Yeah,
kind of like a lead guitar, rhythm guitar, all that stuff.
Yeah, I was very particular with the guitar. Just wanted to be exactly how I envisioned it when we came into it. So there's probably not a single track from the jam tracks, like just from the live recording ones that are on the record, because I just wanted to go in and do everything perfectly, and I was really particular with how the sound was going to be with guitar.
I was going to ask with that stuff, like, did you have to really like fuck around with the tone to find what you wanted?
Yeah, you might not believe it, there's not a single EMG, there's not a single really any metal guitar. 90% of the record.
That's what I was going to ask. That's crazy.
Yeah. 90% of the record is on a Gibson, and the other 10% is my Rhodes, just because it has the Floyd Rose on it for the solos. Besides that, everything was on this really cool, I think it was Swedish or German guitar brand that William brought, and I use that a lot. It was sick. I wish I remembered the name, but it was super awesome, and a lot of Gibsons that were in the studio that we messed around with. And I originally thought it was going to be completely different, and we messed around with the tone so much. We used this this guitar head called a Metropolis, which I'd never heard of, which was very interesting, but it sounded so good. And yeah, just a lot of tinkering around and a lot of just trial and error with the guitar.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially with the tape, we had to kind of be very particular, and like we would get down to just getting everything perfect, like the little parts in this one song, Locked Away, where it's just kind of this slow breakdown feel at the end. We didn't want any ringing or anything. We wanted just straight, just pure, just chug goodness. So like we taped the lower strings just to get it perfect, and it was just very particular.
Yeah, it's fun to like see the tricks that you go through to kind of get the sound you want. Yeah. And how was William in the studio? Like, how was it like working with him?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Really at least, he's really good at what he does, and he's so knowledgeable about all that stuff. He was definitely one of the reasons that I tried a lot of the stuff for guitar that we did. He brought in like that Metropolis amp, and he brought some of his own gear. He was like, let's try this.
Oh, that's cool.
This is gonna sound good, and it sounded amazing. He was the one that got me to really dig the idea of layering guitars. Like we have, I think, 2 tracks left, 2 tracks right, 2 tracks down the center for each song, and some parts were even had a 3rd layer on it just with another guitar. Just he was really good at figuring out how to get that wall of sound. And
nice. Well, he's definitely got the experience, right?
Yeah.
And how was recording vocals? How was that? Was that pretty? Was it kind of a lot of messing around, or?
Well, actually, I mean, him and Sean got really, really deep into it. Like, there were even points where I'd walk into the control room and he's like, "We're deep in the weeds. Get out!" Like straight up. Then we knew that he's just locked in. You know, they were so dialed in together, and they'd be there from like 12 to like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. some nights, just grinding out. And yeah, it's a whole different language than it is for us, because the same way that he would speak to me or Sebi with guitar or bass stuff, he just is a whole different language with Sean when it comes to vocals. And they were just grinding it out. A lot of us just kind of sitting in the lounge room, just like twiddling our thumbs, waiting to go hear it while they were working. But I'd say it went really smooth and went really well.
Nice. And like, did you guys, the recording experience is interesting because you kind of learn a lot about yourself when you're doing that, or even like, you know, your other bandmates, like what they're capable of. Like, was there any kind of standout moments there? Like with you or with the other guys?
I mean, there were definitely, at least for me, moments where I was like, I could definitely play this a lot cleaner, because I would hear the isolated tracks for some of the practice takes. And I was like, all right, because we had I'd say 5 days of pre-production where we're kind of just demoing everything again before we went to really go for masters. So there was stuff like, if we didn't do that, I probably would have never noticed, but I'm pretty thankful that we did, because it really made me sit down and be like, all right, I'm going to get this perfect. And this is like once and for all, you know, no distortion covering up anything, no nothing, just getting it down.
Yeah. How about the rest of you guys?
Yeah, kind of like what Ethan said, the pre-production kind of like helped out a lot. Just kind of like help out just with like the planning and the timing of everything, and really helped.
Yeah. Did you guys go through? Because pre-production is interesting. Because did you have to, you go through the songs? Did you have to cut a lot of certain songs or cut some parts out? Kind of learn how to like restructure a bunch of them.
Yeah,
it was mainly just the tempo.
The tempos, yeah. I'd say like half the songs were probably like some maybe even like 15 to 20 BPM faster than they are on the record. They were like
really, eh?
Pretty good deal amount of faster. And like a few songs, we restructured a couple things, and we also cut like maybe like 3 songs.
Yeah.
By the time that we finished that, we're like, all right, this is just kind of trim the fat. This is what we're going to go with. And just rock with that. Yeah.
Nice. Did you guys like always kind of figure out your BPMs beforehand, or did you kind of figure out as you were doing pre-production?
We really got into that with pre-production. Yeah.
We were just playing.
We would just jam it. Like sometimes I look at our old videos and then I listen to the song on the record and I'm like, the hell are we? How fast were we going?
Yeah,
like
we're
just jamming, we're just pure jamming, and it was way faster.
Yeah, I remember when we first went into pre-production for the first time too. Like, most of our songs we just went way too fast. We had it's kind of the same situation. We had to like slow it down a bit for some of them.
Yeah, well, one thing that like William would say is like we're trying to make these more for songs and not like we're trying to for these songs the 8 songs that we kept, we're really focused on making them as good as songs as possible instead of just really, really fast riffs, which were cool. And we all thought they were really cool, just having these really cool fast riffs and fast drums and stuff. But ultimately, I think that we all wanted to have really good songs over just really cool riffs.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's fun to kind of learn that. And then, you have a better understanding for next time, right? So, exactly. Yeah, it should be interesting to see like how the next album goes for you guys when you kind of go in there. Now that you did it for the first time, you have like this understanding of what to do. Now you kind of have that to work off of and prepare more, right?
I'm really excited to do that. I'm so excited to record again because after the first time, it's like there's so much stuff that I want to do in the studio with these songs that I wish I think that I love how we did it, but there's so much stuff that I learned while doing it and also demoing some new songs that I'm like, when we record these new songs that we got, like, it's going to just be like for us. Like, I'm just
totally.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And it's like, is any like future plan of like when you think you guys will be recording again?
Probably just as soon as we get enough songs for something. I would say
kind of go for like the same amount like this one or maybe more. Or...
Well, I don't know. We might just go with the same method as before, as bring as much as possible and just figure out what's really the best suited stuff.
Nice. And like, is there anything, I know it's interesting when you go from one album to the next, sometimes you want to try like some different stuff or mess around or, experiment a little bit. Like, is there anything in your heads that you're like, maybe we can try to do something more like this on the next record?
Oh yeah, totally. Our new stuff is, if you can't tell, we really like it. It's definitely a little different, and I think we're all really digging it, and we're all moving in a different direction that is more highlighting our sound as us, and it's pretty nice. I'm really excited for people to hear it. Like we play one of the songs live, and we got a pretty good reception from the last show that we played with it. So I'm really excited to just put that on a record and have it out there.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know if you guys are like me, like anytime we've recorded songs, or even if it's like a demo and I'm really loving the song, like, do you guys tend to kind of, listen to it on repeat for a while?
Oh yeah. We have like 2 new songs demoed that I listen to like every other day. And sometimes we'll just like we'll finish practice and we'll be kind of just hanging out. And I'll just put it on the speaker and we're all just like kind of jamming to it.
Nice. That's awesome. And just out of curiosity too, with the music you guys listen to, like what's your kind of, what's your go-to artist that you guys just, it's no problem to easily listen to?
All right. Recently, this band called God's Hate.
Yeah.
God's Hate, okay.
Yeah, we don't have to
take your answer.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of all have like our little separate things,
Yeah.
I don't know what
yeah, it's a really good question, honestly.
I mean, look at my Spotify.
I'm gonna say like now, I guess like Twitching Tongues.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Have to check that one out. Yeah, it's and I don't know. I always like to ask this question too. Like, I feel like Spotify kind of you can show it, but like any like guilty pleasures that anyone would find surprising that you listen to as of late or anything like that.
100%.
Yeah. Not gonna lie.
I mean,
you guys could say
I'll just say the first one. My number one artist, surprisingly, I didn't think it was going to be this, but it was Suicide Boys, and I was very shocked by that.
Oh, you gotta love the Spotify rap.
Yeah, right. Most people don't really think because of the music we play, but I'm probably the biggest Rush fan to ever roam the planet.
Oh, so, really? Eh?
Yeah, I've grew up as like a really big prog guy, so I'll be like, oh, you know this band? I'm like, you listen to this? And I thought we were only listening to like bum 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 bum. I'm like, yeah, stuff like that.
It's funny, metal. It's like everyone just assumes, anyone who listens to metal just listens to metal.
Yeah, yeah.
Which, I don't know. I like all music. I don't know how you guys like. Is there any genre you're just like, I cannot understand?
Country.
Like
country.
Yes,
yeah, I'm the same.
Well, yeah, country. I like older country because I could appreciate the musicianship, but like recent country, I feel like when they have like trap beats in country, I'm like, what is going on?
Oh yeah, drives me nuts.
This is not country.
Yeah, I don't like country.
Yeah.
The only thing I could get down with anything else. I like pop music, so I can get down with
Yeah. It's like for me too. Like I there's like maybe the odd country song where I'm like, that's catchy and it's not too bad, but I'm not, going to it on my Spotify or anything.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the same like what you said with like trap beats and stuff. That just makes me think of Florida Georgia Line.
Yeah.
That band drove me nuts.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe you shouldn't really mix trap beats with country, but that's just maybe that's just me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the funny thing too, though. It's just like I feel like country's always been, big, but for some reason now it just feels like there's this weird upswing with like, artists like say like Post Malone, he's gonna do a country record and other people are doing country. It's like, okay, like what happened?
Yeah. I feel like it's recently just become like you say country and you're gonna do country. And since there's such a large audience for it, you kind of a lot of these people are doing it because they know they'll get some pretty good success from it. But
yeah, kind of hop on the fucking bandwagon kind of thing.
Yeah, because back then it was different, like people were writing country because it was its genre and people liked that. And that's why I respect it back then. Even I don't listen to like the really deep stuff. Like, I mean, if I listen to anything, even if you want to call something like Leonard Skinner country, or like, C country, it's still like more rock,
Yeah, that's true. And I guess where you guys are from, what's the music genre there? Like there's always, I feel like in every city there's always like one genre that kind of stands out.
Yeah.
Like I know here in Edmonton, it's just like fucking hardcore, like screamo. That's what it always was.
Yeah. Here it's like hardcore. It used to be like back in the 90s or something. It's probably like death metal, but like now it's more like hardcore. I mean, that's in the like rock side of music. Obviously, like rap's pretty big here in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
No, okay, yeah.
I just went to a show on the side of the road in the Everglades, watching a slam band play. It was pretty sick, and like a ton of hardcore.
Okay.
It's like
some slam.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of slam.
Metalcore, yeah.
Nice. And like obviously besides any big concerts and like you guys playing shows, do you go to like a lot of local concerts or is there a lot of local shows?
Yeah, there's like local shows every week, basically. Every week.
Nice.
Yeah, so
yeah, I feel like we've all recently made a pretty good effort to be going there and kind of just be a part of the scene.
Mm-hmm.
And like, there's a lot of cool bands out there too. You know, it's actually a pretty good time. You know, you see some really cool stuff, and I personally really enjoy going to the shows and just supporting. You know, just because it's just cool. These people have the same ambitions that we do, so why not support?
Exactly. Yeah, true enough. I think that's the one thing I really like about this whole, you know, Spotify, the streaming service is now you can just discover new music like every day.
Yeah,
right. Versus back then, it was you would just, you know, you go to a record store or it was on the radio or on TV. Now you just like the algorithm will give you whatever you like.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll be in school and I'll just like let my Spotify kind of just play after something finishes, and I'll just play like recommended songs. And I found some really cool stuff that I love a lot now just through that, and I'm pretty happy for that.
Yeah, because I felt like for me for a while it was just like, you know, I like these bands that I listened to. It was kind of just a like, this is what it is, and then it started to kind of fall into my playlist and everything. And I was like, oh fuck, this is awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Like discovering way more like cool stuff and like newer artists that you had no idea existed. So it's a cool way to get out there more. And especially like, I'm sure that's helped you guys out a lot too.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
that definitely helped out a lot.
Yeah. Like, have you guys been featured on any like playlists and stuff like that?
Yes, actually, I was really shocked about it because I was looking at the Spotify for Artists account where it kind of gives you your own Wrapped as an artist.
Oh yeah.
And like something over like I think like 1,300 playlists that we've been put on this year. I was like, hey, it's pretty cool.
Oh wow.
People are liking the play, like putting it on their playlist. I was really, really hyped about that.
So, that's a win, man. That's awesome. And I guess like in the future, what are you guys kind of hoping for in the sense of, you know, say like bands that maybe you could open for or go on tour with, or these big, you know, of like festival shows that you can play?
Right here. Drain.
Yeah, that one. Oh, nice.
Yeah, those guys are sick. Those guys are super sick. Festivals, definitely as many as, I mean, we could really play. Like we got Rockville, which is like I think we're all collectively really hyped about that.
Yeah, definitely.
First festival that we'll ever play, and from there, hopefully more to come, you know.
Oh, I'm sure you guys will. It honestly feels like it's just the beginning for you guys. It's crazy. Like you have so much ahead of you. Like, yeah, just friggin' steamroll it all, man. And before I let you guys go, before we finish recording, like, is there anything else you guys want to plug with your like socials? Any like new shows that are going to be coming up soon that you want to like let people know about?
Yeah, if you're for Florida local, you know, we're going to be playing December 27th. I mean, check out the Instagram. That's 100%. That's where you're going to see everything. All of this, that's where we're most active. So just at Shane Sane Official on Instagram. And then for anyone listening in LA, we're playing the Whiskey January 3rd. So pull through.
Sweet. Awesome, guys. Well, I appreciate you coming on and especially waiting for me while I got through this stupid goddamn snowstorm.
Oh, good, man.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, like although I guess the weather down there can be pretty crazy too, right?
Yeah,
with Florida.
Yeah. Going through a little cold front right now, though. I'm really digging it.
Oh, that's all right then. Awesome, guys. Well, appreciate it, and anyone listening to this, definitely check them out because it's a blast from the past with the music, and it's actually like really enjoy. Like I love listening to it. I listened to it like the whole drive over here. So,
sick. Yeah.
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much, and we'll chat again soon.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.